Yo, yo, yo. See what's going on. What up, Terrence? What's going on, man? What up, Witterson? How you doing, bro? What up, TJ? You guys ready for some Monday Night Raw?
The steel cage is looming around.
Doing all right. What's going on, Brent? Trying to get a little grind in before Monday Night Raw starts. You know how it is. Been all right. What up, Steven? Oh, hell yeah. Now let me tell you something, brother. I don't even have Roman Reigns. So, how am I going to get Seth, fool? That one time I ripped open packs, I used up all my MyFaction, and I never recovered.
Sidewalk slam. A little reminder from Stratton that she's on a different level.
Billy, welcome back to the membership. There's a VC discount on the Roman card.
Double arm lock.
Yeah, wow. That shit's always 5 months now. Nice, man.
Like that.
Hey, I appreciate it, Billy. Thank you so much.
Good grief. Oh, kick right to the spine.
Yeah, no, I'm not. With already having them on PC, like, I have no interest in getting them on my regular account. Like, there's no satisfaction or extra joy. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy MyFaction, and I would like to have the card if possible through, like, just a basic grind, but I'm not putting not $1 into that shit because it doesn't really mean anything to me. Like, to me, these modes that allow you to spend money, my satisfaction that I get from it is grinding it out. I don't get the satisfaction of having every card and ripping, you know, and pulling it because I put money into it or whatever.
And she kicks out right away.
I know some people can't resist and they go ahead and spend money, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really do much for me personally. Like, it's not like there's like the ultimate satisfaction. You get me? What up, VJ?
What a beautiful powerful moonsault. Connects on the kick.
So what I've been really focusing on lately is doing the MyFaction weekly towers, which they've been pretty fun. It's a grind. It's obviously not that hard. It's just extensive in terms of the time you put into it, but I've enjoyed it.
Here comes that rolling fireman's carry. Uh-oh.
Oh no, she reversed it. She reversed it. Oh my God, she reversed it with the mist.
A little showboating from Asuka.
How about you, little Witty? Have you got him?
She is not abused in the slightest.
Did you pick him up already? Nothing much, VJ Rooney.
Sent into the corner. Oh, that can flatten you. Boom. And there you see her moving up the cage. To the sky. The splash connects.
It's Tiffy time. So I saw that for Monday Night Raw tonight. We have 2 triple threat matches for the Intercontinental Tournament.
Turns it around.
And then we also have...
Wow, what a kick.
Oh, what the hell? We also have...
She's off to the races up the cage.
Is this the right time?
Uncle Howdy's debut.
Is this the right moment?
Trying desperately to escape. Oh! Caught square by the haymaker. Sharp chop.
Drop kick hits the mark.
Oh! Oh, disabling the leg with that. Oh,
Tiffany Stratton is too good.
To the guts. Oh, ouch. Able to avoid there. Oh, here she goes up the side of the cage.
Takes incredible guts to make this climb.
And there she is, finally reaching the top of the cage. And she doesn't appear to be slowing down anytime soon. A really impressive showing in this steel cage match.
Oh, man, she is awfully close to ending it here.
We got it.
It's over, all in a night's work.
Here is your winner, Tiffany Stratton.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, or at least what's left of one. Celebrating now, visiting the medical facility tomorrow.
Surely
have a
frustrating
winner.
loss for the Empress of Tomorrow, but I still wouldn't turn my back on Asuka.
Hall of Fame Giants. VJ, did you end up finishing AEW All In? Yo, guys, don't forget to double tap the screen for some likes. Like it up, like it up. Helps the stream, helps the channel. And if you're watching it in the regular YouTube format, you know how to hit the like button. You already knew. Nah, I like the elite models. I just think there's just not enough of it, you know? I wouldn't spend a ton of money on it either. Like, I think they should just be part of the game. And a separate mode even they could do. That's what I would do if I were them.
There's the bell, and now it's time for Extreme Rules. Things are probably going to get ugly in a hurry now.
Yeah, the WWE Universe should brace itself. There's truly no telling the kind of violence we're about to be in for here.
Personally, I can't wait. Wrestling's supposed to be ugly. Andre the Giant with just a disrespectful dare, pushing his opponent to meet him face to face.
even though that's obviously impossible. Dominating shoulder tackle. Andre showboating like only a Goliath can. Boom! Ripped in the hard way. It couldn't have felt good being chucked around like that.
Oh, what a wind-up.
He skirts around it.
Boom, a forearm smash.
Uses an elbow to disrupt that attack. One reversal after another. These two are reading each other's minds.
And in a match with no rules, what good even is a strategy?
Yeah, it's good to throw strategy right out the window here.
He could pin his opponent right here.
It's over.
Forces the shoulder up after two. I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now.
No one can.
The grinding you have to do for rewards.
Quick
Yeah.
sidestep by Dominic.
And Dominic is failing to offer any resistance here.
This whole game mode is just meaningless, though, artists.
Face buster.
That's the problem that I have with MyFaction in general. They haven't added any true meaning to it. They have failed to really, you know, peak with.
Here is your winner, the
With what the mode is and what it should be.
Andre the Giant!
So for Andre the Giant, he grabs the victory here tonight.
I'm streaming right now in short format. I'm gonna close this stream up to put everybody in the short format.
Mommy will be there to nurture him back to health.
So I put the link in the chat box there. If you click on it, it'll take you directly to the stream. For anybody watching in the widescreen format. Yeah, they could do MyFaction like that. Yep, I agree. That would be a much better experience. So guys, if you click right there, you'll be able to hit the other stream. I'm gonna close this one up. MyFaction is a good game mode in my opinion, with the addition of unlocking persona cards from it, but the oddities chance is low. I don't think it's a good game mode because there's just not enough of anything there that's, you know, really worth there's just not enough in there, in my opinion. You get me? Like if they would have given you real meaning for collecting, real meaning, significant gameplay, like grind stuff, it would have just felt better all around. Yet the game failed to do that on every level. In my opinion, that like what would it take to make the mode significantly better? Just adding more value in everything, in the grind, in the cards, more persona options, like Artist was talking about now. Um, even just having the toy, like a whole filter and a whole section for the toys within the game. You know, there's just so much more they could do. I feel like MyFaction is only a bit of the possibility that they like where this game mode could be heading towards. Everything right now in my faction feels like very bare bones, very early stages. That's how I feel, at least. I think they could be doing a much better job giving the mode meaning, like actual meaning, versus, oh yeah, get on here, get a persona card. Oh, look, do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they're just rushing to do everything just to like make money and stuff. Versus like sitting down and being like, all right, how can we expand this mode with what we already have and build on, you know, the good things that the mode has to offer. Part of it is WWE, but as a creative director, well, it's not a scam. It's a they're using the game and the toys, like the figures, to market the game and the toys at the same time. Like it's a win-win for everybody. That's the way I see it. All right, I was just adjusting some links now, tweeting out that we're live, so people could tune in. All right, guys, remember to double tap the screen for me if you can, please, to make sure we get all the likes we can possibly get. Right now, we only got 2. All right, we're good now. I was kind of restructuring the stream. You unlocked Seth 14 a while ago? Nice. What up, Hoaxster? What up, Austin? Cycle Sid, yep. I feel like if you want to break down the toys and the elite figures in the game, if you want to break it down and say that that's a scam, I mean, don't even get me started when it comes to MyFaction. MyFaction is a total scam in all reality. All right, VJ, see you later, my boy.
When we see the dark duo of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, we're looking at a team who's hungry and
I don't see the live events
union, you're not exactly mentoring rookies.
as something fun
These women possess a power that has the capability.
oh yeah, we have to. The live event is available now. I'm gonna go ahead and rip packs because the live events is gonna leave in several days. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it's just me, but you can only be.
Nice takedown. Could be looking for the
It's like, come on, man.
triangle arm bars.
Trying to free herself from the
What are we doing?
Left hands
What up, John?
and she's free.
Oh, I heard somebody in the crowd say, "Ooh, look over here."
I don't know what Oscar could be saying, but it does appear quite insulting.
This zombie Oscar, man, that I got through the live events is a beast.
She's pushed into the corner. And Alba got bottled up there. Oh, caught on the chin.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what the Persona cards are trying to be, artists.
Running drop kick in the corner.
That's their attempt of making it playable across everywhere else while trying to get you to play the mode. That's the best they could come up with.
Get back into this. Oh, what a clothesline. And able to counter.
Instead of forcing people to play a mode, like, give us the option.
Impressive reversal there.
I don't know. For me personally, like, my imagination maybe goes far beyond their capabilities.
Fry quick to counter.
But after playing fantasy sports team building in other games, like basketball, football, baseball, all that, they have the worst fantasy team building mode in this game. It's the absolute worst. The absolute worst.
Uh-oh. There's the backbreaker. Right across the chest.
And I feel like what I'm saying for them to add is just, again, it might be out of my lack of knowledge and it's out of their control, but
What a punch. The pinpoint kick to the back.
well, that's why you limit it to Personas. And I think the people that are not going to buy it every year are still not going to buy it every year. Like, you're not getting it every year is because of the new roster, the new arenas. You get me?
She's on unsteady legs in the corner. Needs to recover.
If you play the live events, it's very challenging. I mean, it's kind of challenging, but that's like half the fun. I've beaten already quite a few live events.
Burst of energy. Nice takedown. Oscar with a kick to the midsection.
I don't know, bro. I don't read rumors. I don't read spoilers. I don't read, like, the bullshit that I know is because you guys post it on Discord and talk about it on here. But honestly, I don't keep up with that extra garbage because to me it ruins watching the show. I don't know anything about Britt Baker. I don't know about her having beef with anyone. To me, the match that she had was just fine. I thought she did a good job. I thought the show was good. That shit just doesn't pique my interest. I watch wrestling as pure as I possibly can to enjoy the product for what it is versus acting like I know anything about what's going on with rumors and bullshit reports.
Superstars that go great together, and that win is proof.
And if I'm in the tag division, I'm hoping with all my heart I don't come across these two in the future.
I don't know. I don't care what's the reason why she's feuding with Paige and not Britt. I think the Paige feud is perfect. Yeah, no, I'm taking it as nothing, like toilet paper and wiping my ass with it. It doesn't mean anything to me, bro. I think at the end of the day, the match with Mercedes was fine. The overall story arc, what they did with Paige after not being featured on the card was fine. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of that stuff. That was the least of my worries. I didn't think about if she got suspended or she didn't want to work with someone else. Play NBA 2K? What are you talking about? I don't play 2K on this channel. I play 2K on the other channel, and I have played it, and I am playing the new one when it comes out. Who said I wasn't playing 2K25 though?
Placed into the corner.
Lands an elbow.
Well, he had a lackluster reign because AEW just does lackluster storylines because they barely do any of them. You got what I'm saying? There's a lackluster amount of storylines overall. So that hurt Swerve's reign. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change what's significant about it. And is that he was a world champion and he was on top of the AEW leaderboards, you know, leading the company. That's the takeaway from this. All the reigns that AEW has are going to be lackluster if they don't focus on adding feuds and storylines, and it can't just be for, oh, I'm better than you. I'm excited for the Wrestling Code too, Hope. I'm excited for it too. It looks very promising, and my expectations are that I just want to play a fun game that offers a solid structure for replayability and a good roster, and I think it has that. I knew you were going to say that again and again and again. They didn't make Ricochet a bigger star. They didn't do anything with him in one night that WWE didn't already do. He did the same thing he did in WWE in his debut, and that's fine. That's expected of him. That's what they signed him for. You're just going off of hype and seeing him in a different place and still using his same name, and
Look at this, just unloading.
They didn't make him a bigger star. They didn't showcase anything that he didn't already do. That shit didn't get more attention than what he did with Logan. It wasn't on a bigger scale than any feud that he's had yet in WWE. He's now been going back and forth with Kyle Fletcher in real life. Kyle Fletcher was trying to mock him for being Speed Champion, and Ricochet called him out. And who's Kyle Fletcher fighting on Rampage? You know what I'm saying? What up, Sims?
Just a dominant display.
People think Ricochet was at 50% in WWE because there were stretches in WWE where they didn't showcase him and he was in some filler matches. But at the end of the day, isn't that what a lot of people in AEW do anyways? Have a bunch of filler matches? What up, Daniel? You completed the showcase? Nice. Yeah, Sins. I saw some reports. Not even reports, just people that knew him that tweeted about it. What would I rate All In? I talked about it yesterday at the end of the stream. I gotta upload a video talking about it, but I gave it a 10. I thought All In was fantastic. If the AEW focused on doing more shows like All In, I would tune in on a weekly basis. People are going to overhype Ricochet stuff. They're going to overhype the Daniel Bryan stuff and all that stuff because they're so desperate for validation and they're so desperate for something outside of WWE to give them that feeling. What up, Brian?
And it's reverse pain for that mistake.
You know, instead of just enjoying what they did, where they did it and how they did it, it's all brought back to WWE. Like, WWE lives rent-free in so many AEW fans' head and vice versa with the WWE fans. I thought that was a little crazy too, Sims, because I saw him kiss his kids, but he didn't want to. I think it was just more of like being respectful with his wife, I guess, in that moment, like just heat of the moment. What up, Farrar? How's it going? But yeah, I did think twice about that. Like, my mind kind of like backpedaled after seeing, you know, him go through each one and then do the kiss on the cheek with her. I was like, what? It only felt like I backpedaled because I saw the camera like zoom in all up on it. Like they emphasized on it, like production emphasized. But I think it was maybe probably out of like a respect instead of like having him. I mean, he could have just pop kissed her. So I don't know. I'm just. I'm thinking that maybe it was just out of respect, like, you know, the public display of affection or whatever. Brian had blood. You want him to kiss her with blood? Are you serious? He kissed his children. Bree probably whooped his ass at home. Yeah, I think it was maybe the nerves it could be in the heat of the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're just putting too much stock into it because the camera focused on him.
The Giant has him staring at the... Look at Andre the Giant.
You seen a big black bear? How the hell? What happened? It was so funny though that his kid didn't want to go with him while he was running around in the ring. Like, his kid was being a little brat while he was trying to do the heroic, like, Rocky pose. His kids kept running around like the little boy. You're happy about the Bushwhackers? Yeah, I mean, bro, they have a lot of variety with their roster. It's crazy. They need to fix his entrance. They're not going to do anything. Yeah, Ace is just... Bro, remember, Ace doesn't bring any real logic to it, Sims. Can't really blame him, but no one is blaming him. I'm just saying that it happens. What up, Corey? My biggest thing to talk about... Hold on, just wanted to make sure I got the win because Sheamus, I thought Sheamus was going to come in. My biggest thing that I'd like to talk about is the show was awesome. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Again, I got to do a separate video to talk about it, but I haven't done it. I wouldn't give it an 8.5 because I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 10. I'm going to give it a 10, total 10. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not about overhyping it. It's not about because it's the best show on the planet. It's not because of, you know, I'm jumping the AEW wagon. I still support AEW the way I've always supported AEW. I still, you know, feel the same way about it. But my whole thing is that when you watch All In 2024 and you watch it comparing it to last year's All In, comparing it to other pay-per-views that AEW have put together, other rivalries and feuds and matches that AEW have put together, I gotta give them credit where credit is due. We're constantly here reviewing and sharing our displeasure for the lack of storytelling and the lack of, you know, feud building. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at that AEW match card from the start of the show at 1 o'clock till the end at 5 o'clock, so that 4-hour period, forget about the pre-show. I feel like the pre-show was kind of like just a filler hot mess. But when it comes to the actual show itself, it delivered for every single person. And again, I'm going to do a review for it, and I do want to take this time to talk about it because I was like, you know, I'll talk about it on stream. I'll do a little video later in the week. But again, the 10 out of 10, it's not comparing it to WrestleMania Night 1 or 2 or any WWE show or any Attitude Era, or it's literally what have I seen from AEW in the last several years? How can I rate this comparing it to what they've done? Every show they've ever done, even if it's had a 5-star match or 10 out of 10, whatever you want to call it in terms of a match or a rivalry, there's always been something pulling it down for me. It's always been like, oh yeah, but this was a shoehorn, you know, or though this was, you know, no story build. I would say that it's one of their best shows easily in their history. That's why I'm giving it a 10, because when you watch It doesn't have to be the greatest of all time to give it a 10. It doesn't have to be the best show ever to be a 10. It doesn't have to be their number one show ever to be a 10. But I'm giving it a 10 because the flow of the show had good, consistent storylines with results that matched and gave you a roller coaster feeling. Do I agree with every finish? No. Did it have anticlimactic endings? Yes. Did it want me, did it leave me wanting more? Of course. And the fact that it was able to have that much range versus another regular Dynamite, Collision, or even, Revolution. Let's talk about Revolution where Sting retired. I really thoroughly enjoyed that show. Sting's retirement match was very awesome in terms of how fun it was and how good they were able to make Sting look despite it being a little too fake and too much for me. I still very much enjoyed it as a fan and as a farewell to the legend, the icon Sting. And then I enjoyed Jack Perry coming in through the crowd, and it had some really nice moments, but there were other things on the show that brought it down for me. So circling back to last night or yesterday's AEW All In, again, having some nice surprises like Nigel McGuinness. He hasn't wrestled since like his TNA days. He was a former WWE announcer. He's been an announcer for AEW, and for him to come out, look as good as he did, and kind of rekindle some, feuds and stuff with superstars from, all over the world, I thought that was a nice moment, him having that opportunity in his hometown. Very good vibes with that whole experience in the gauntlet. They really utilized the gauntlet to their advantage. That's where Ricochet also made his debut, which he looked very strong and had some good spots. Orange Cassidy, like everyone shined at one moment in time in that match, so it kind of felt like a Royal Rumble, tournament, AEW buildup. So that was really well executed. The problem that I had was the way that Christian Cage won. I like Christian Cage. Dare I say I love Christian Cage. So this is amazing for his career. But I really wish that they would have given him a little more. I felt like it was a cut off a little bit. Especially with the way his team lost the titles earlier in the night in the ladder match. The ladder match was probably the one match that under-delivered based on my expectations. But again, understanding the flow of the show, so much story there, so much story. Ultimately, I just can't complain. The women's matches, really strong booking for everyone. Mariah May versus Toni Storm, that rivalry was probably the best story on the card. What up, leader? And they killed it. The performance that Toni Storm put in, the way she dropped the title and put her over. There wasn't an overwhelming amount of blood throughout the night. There was only Mariah May, Daniel Bryan, and Darby Allin were the main focus for bleeding. And I didn't have a problem with that. Not every match was over the top, bleeding and bullshit. And then you're asking me about Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay and MJF tore it down. That could have been a main event. Will Ospreay's Assassin's Creed entrance already got me grooving. The MJF bad guy, Mr. America story. As much as I wish that rivalry would have been like 3 or 4 months and it wasn't just 1 month build, they really focused on the fact that they had that 1 hour match and they built up that rivalry and feud. So I appreciate the fact that, they took long to get there, but once they got there, it got going and it was awesome for that feud, I'm saying. And Will Ospreay obviously getting the title back in his hometown and ultimately elevating the crowd, elevating him, and just everything, bro. It was a good mix of fan service with some intriguing decisions, and I like to see that. I like to see risk being taken. Christian Cage winning wasn't in my bingo card for a massive AEW title opportunity in the future. That really wasn't in my bingo card. But if I had to pick matches that under-delivered for me, I would say it was the ladder match that kicked off the show and the coffin match. But there were so many great moments and so many, really strong matches that it didn't bring it down, because not every match can be a 10 out of 10. And I've told you this plenty of times, and I've talked about just wrestling in general plenty of times. Not every match could be a 5-star match. You need to have the one that makes you feel kind of, the one that makes you feel, oh, and, and all in between. Because if you have, like everything like that, then the peaks are not going to hit as hard. And when Bryan Danielson won his title, it wasn't that the feud with Strickland was great. It wasn't that Swerve Strickland was Roman Reigns, where he was champion for 1,000 or whatever days. It was literally just the story of the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. His career could be coming to an end. He's at the back end of his journey at the end of the day. Swerve Strickland, is he a worthy champion? Is he credible? Can he go toe-to-toe with, who people love to argue is the very best pro wrestler? And it crossed off all those questions for the most part. And that's why I'm giving it a 10. Not because, oh yeah, this beat WWE. This was bigger than Cody. This was bigger than WrestleMania 30. No, like Straight Edge was writing to me, oh, I just hate that Bryan Danielson is saying that this moment was bigger than WrestleMania 30 for him. I'm like, Straight Edge, this was my reply, and I genuinely feel this. I'm like, Straight Edge, for Bryan Danielson right now, this is his biggest moment in his career. Why? Because he's on the verge of retiring. His family was there. He even said it in the press conference, and I told this to Straight Edge, and I'm telling each and every one of you guys, you can't just read a headline and strip it for whatever you want it to mean to you. You gotta read the room. You gotta see the context and how things were said. Bryan Danielson said this was his biggest moment, his most favorite moment in his entire career, because every time someone asked him that question, he always felt like every moment he's had in his career that has peaked has felt like great to him. But this one stood out because his family was there. His children got to see their father wrestle and remember that day and be a part of that day. And that is what holds the most value to him as just a human being. And I get that. I totally see that. He didn't bash WWE. He didn't say that WrestleMania 30 wasn't satisfying. But fans and people online like to draw the line in the sand, and they like to build shit up and talk about things out of context, out of, the reality of what that person is trying to express. So they rip it, they butcher it, and they stomp on it. And then you got people raging and talking shit like come on, man. So, yes, it was a huge moment. Huge moment. And for AEW to finally have, bro, when they signed Bryan Danielson, he was supposed to main event and be their top guy for a long time. And he had setbacks, he had injuries, he had, so many other things to deal with outside of wrestling, and it just never got going for him. So the fact that he's been healthy, he's been wrestling in New Japan, he's been representing AEW backstage as a leader in the locker room, that is a big deal for him. To still go toe-to-toe with one of the youngest, brightest stars in the industry, I think that is awesome for AEW to have a guy like Bryan Danielson lead the company. Now, let's look at all the champions that they've had. They've had up to now with Bryan Danielson, I believe, 7 different champions. And I only know that. What up, Kev? I only know that because Swerve Strickland had on his gear that he was the 6th champion in AEW history. So now we have the 7th in Bryan Danielson, right? Who was champion before? Chris Jericho, we know, was champion. We know Jon Moxley was champion. We know CM Punk was champion. We know Adam Page was champion. We know Swerve Strickland was champion. And we know Samoa Joe was champion. If you look at all the champions and MJF, or I don't know if I mentioned him, but whatever. Those are the guys that have been champion. You know who they are. Out of all those guys that have been champion, there's been more lackluster champions than true champions that really pushed that belt. Jon Moxley was one of the champions that really pushed the belt. Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho are probably the top 3 best champions that AEW has had since they started. Why, Lex? Why are those the top 3 champions that they've had? Because Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, and Chris Jericho have one thing in common when it comes to their title reign. They have all had significant rivalries and feuds to build up the title. Then you got to throw in MJF. He's probably the 4th best champion they've ever had. Why? Because MJF was another great storyteller with some real strong feuds along the way. CM Punk, short-lived, wasn't long-lasting, didn't get nowhere. Samoa Joe, super filler, unfortunately, and I love Samoa Joe. Swerve Strickland, filler, and I love Swerve, and I really like Swerve Strickland, I'll say. So when MJF was the longest reigning AEW champ, you see, that alone sets him apart from everybody. But I'm giving you, what I'm saying is not a fact, by the way. What I'm saying is you could put MJF as the greatest champion because he was the longest champion, But for me, I'm talking about Kenny Omega, because Jon Moxley has been so reliable for them in and out of the ring. And he's been able to carry that belt with prestige and make every rivalry or every match feel like a strong rivalry. And that's what makes a good champion. You're only as good as the person you face. If you don't have a good dancing partner, a believable feud, you're not really going to get nowhere. So when you look at Kenny Omega, he was one of the longest champions as well. He was the belt collector, he called himself at the time. That was his nickname. You're like, shit. And Chris Jericho being the inaugural. That's a really strong, mountain to climb, a really big one. So not everyone is going to get to that. Not everyone has to be that. Samoa Joe, his job was to carry that belt with prestige, honor, and have some strong booking, some strong matches booked for him. He had some strong matches booked for him. They just didn't really mean a whole lot. Now, what has been the most interesting thing about Swerve Strickland that you could say about him in AEW or even as his rise to the top as champion? Hangman Adam Page. That's a match we didn't really ultimately see play out as a championship opportunity for Page while Swerve had the belt. Like, they didn't do a trilogy or anything crazy like that. They fought for the number 1 contendership. They fought for the belt in the triple threat. They had those matches, but their rivalry outside of that title is just bigger than the title itself for the most part in terms of, Swerve being champion. So now it's up to Bryan Danielson to do what some of the greatest champs in AEW have done, which is elevate the belt by getting in some storylines and feuds. And I think Christian Cage versus Bryan Danielson makes so much sense. These 2 veterans, that's a good start. That's a good start. Plus, Swerve Strickland re-signed with AEW, and they did a storyline with that. They showed it on camera before the show started. So, you could also do that. He has the rematch clause. There's just so many avenues that you could do with Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson is at the point in his career where he is big enough to carry stories by himself. Swerve Strickland just hasn't gotten there yet. So Bryan Danielson's storyline carried the Swerve feud, and it carried the match because you're just on the edge of your seat because of Bryan Danielson, and you want to see, where that's headed. And I think that they did a good job executing it the way they did. What up, Headbuster? How's it going, man? So all in all, I do have more to talk about when it comes to the AEW show, but separate your fandom for WWE, separate your rivalry, separate, all that baloney behavior, and just look at the show for what they had to offer, for what they were able to accomplish, and for what they were trying to deliver. And I think that it hit the mark, and it was well worth it being considered one of their biggest pay-per-view. And the crowd there was good too. First blood. All right. So that's how I feel about it. At the end of the day, like I said, you gotta take it for what it is, and I think that gets lost in translation oftentimes.
All right, here we go. This is a no disqualification match. Anything goes from here on out.
Weapons, outside interference.
My whole thing that kind of makes me uncomfortable about all of this is how MJF never went after the belt again after coming back from injury and losing the belt to Samoa Joe.
Prefers to be showboating right now.
I think the Ring of Honor shows come on like Thursday or Friday, and they do it on their app. They do it on their website or something like that. Well, I know you go to the websites and stuff, so I think it's on Thursdays. Thursdays or Fridays, something like that. Yeah, Darby's in line for the title next, but Christian has basically like the Money in the Bank.
Outside of the ring now.
He has the contract that he could cash it in whenever he wants.
Bringing a steel chair into play here.
Darby has a match at Grand Slam.
Fends off the attack with an elbow. Paint a picture for me, Corey. Hypothetically, what are some tactics you'd use?
Like, one of the things that we just got to do as a community, and just, we're on social media, right? You just got to not put too much stock into everything. Like, just because one person tweeted this or one person said that doesn't mean it's the end all be all.
He's looking a little off balance. And Andre just overwhelmed him with that physical offense. Ooh, stinging kick. Oh, ouch.
Oh, that was just malicious.
Just disrespectful.
Andre just continues to mount the offense.
Andre the Giant.
Gunther has to turn the tide.
This isn't the smartest thing to do, antagonizing your opponent instead of attacking him.
Oh, God. Oh, strong impact. Gunther moved at the right time. Backbreaker. Boom.
Getting clubbed by the axe handle.
He saw it coming. Puts the boot to the midsection. Ouch. That's one way to get your opponent out of the corner.
Gunther just can't seem to stop this offense.
Andre's being a dominant force.
Why do you think the AEW Championship is going to be vacated? What did you read that made you think that?
Now that was inhuman power. Look at Andre the Giant. Andre with a big elbow. Can Gunther and Andre lining it up. Gosh, supersized elbow drop.
What up, Darasimi? How's it going?
Face first into the chair.
Andre just continues to mount the offense.
Gunther has to create an opportunity to retaliate.
Yeah, Christian winning the bell is definitely for Edge.
He turns it around.
Crucial turnaround.
If that's the route they end up going.
Gunther isn't allowing that burst of attacks to put an end to him.
You read that Bryan retired as the new AEW champion. Where did you read that? Did AEW post that?
Andre the Giant victorious here tonight.
Wow, a dominating showing by the 8th wonder of the world right here tonight.
I'm looking on their Twitter. There's no post about AEW posting that Bryan retired. Guys, if you haven't dropped a like, remember to double tap the screen. Wasn't his contract up now? Nah, he just doesn't want to be a full-timer anymore. That's really been the whole, he's been very vocal about that. I think Rhea Ripley will end up winning. Sleepy Vision. You just got your 2k24 today? Nice. Welcome to the game. The press conference, he said he don't see retiring anytime soon. Exactly. He wants to slow down. That's all. That means maybe just wrestling exclusively for AEW and not going to Japan, which he's been doing a good deal. I literally could see Triple H making it right with Sid by putting him in the Hall of Fame. But why would it be putting it right by Sid, putting him in the Hall of Fame? What's wrong? Like, what wrong have they done? I see you saving up the MFP. I just haven't used it. There's nothing to use it on. I had blown it all on packs. I can't afford anything with it. You know,
here we go with Ridge,
I don't know why someone would post that Bryan is retiring or that he's vacating the belt. If he just won the belt, they did the press conference. He could have easily said that he was retiring. It was a title versus career match. I think it would be really foolish to have the guy that said that he was putting his career on the line win the belt and still give up his career. It doesn't really make much sense. I think what Bryan was trying to accomplish with that, what a brave, I think he wanted to give his fans like a preset warning, like I'm about to retire type, like kind of like what Edge did. Edge was very vocal about how he was at the end of his career and that he has a couple years left.
Drops the hammer right on the lower back. He is just reeling from that offense.
At this stage of the match, they are clearly starting to feel the effects of this back and forth.
That's just disrespect right there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with him saying that he's not worried about who his next opponent is. That's not for him to worry about anyways. That's something that Tony Khan worries about.
Ridge needs to figure things out.
Corey, it has to be hard to face off against such a chaotic opponent.
That's just a basic answer. He shouldn't worry about who his next opponent is.
So chaotic is that explosive temper of his. If you can frustrate Holland, it's only a matter of time before he loses his cool and explodes.
Tony Khan's the one that has to go into the kitchen and cook it up.
There he goes, right into the corner.
How do I feel about Ricochet making his debut? Really good for him, and I hope that whatever he's looking for, he finds there. I'm sure the money's right, and I'm sure that he didn't go there just for the money. He went more for the opportunity to further his career and his character.
Continues to mount the offense.
Yeah, you can see that Holland's frustration boiled over at the wrong time, and his opponent simply seized the opportunity.
You find him as champion. We got to see, man. There's a bad track record with a lot of superstars like Ricochet who have showed up and have won maybe like one mid-card title or a Ring of Honor title and then kind of fallen off the face of the earth.
Oh, what a tackle.
If you look at AEW, look at AEW real quick. Edge, injured.
This spells doom for Holland.
Adam Cole, injured.
And this one is over.
Bryan Danielson was injured. Miro was injured. But look at every person outside of those guys that I've mentioned that have been lackluster for the most part. Cesaro has done kind of okay. He's kind of but the list goes such as Cesaro, Andrade, Keith Lee. I'm trying to think of other superstars as well. There's just a long list of superstars that haven't really done a whole lot outside of the staples of Chris Jericho and Christian and Swerve Strickland. It's been more of like the surprising superstars. Yeah, I said Miro, but yeah, Rusev, Miro, same thing. So you got to kind of realize that, well, Orange Cassidy, Kenny Omega are not from WWE, but John Moxley's one that I could mention. Yeah, John Moxley and Chris Jericho have been the most fruitful signings for AEW from WWE. And that's not saying that the other ones haven't been fruitful or that the other ones haven't been good or the other. All I'm saying is that John Moxley and Jericho are the ones that have given them an ample amount of reliability and have produced some really good programming. You know, it wasn't the Hardys, it wasn't some of the other guys. Samoa Joe has been all right, but he's kind of been lost in the shuffle. But yeah, he's been one of the more successful ones, individuals for himself, yes. But if you look at John Moxley and you look at Chris Jericho, they have been the tippity top of that list. Who knows? Maybe eventually, Chase. Maybe eventually. So these other signings, like now Ricochet, I just don't know what we're going to get out of him. But I have to agree with Kev. I think that Ricochet is probably going to be more in the TNT division. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, Kyle Fletcher trying to make fun of Ricochet for being Speed champion or even being on Speed. Like, it's such a troll child behavior bullshit. There is so much money involved in that. Twitter paying WWE for exclusive content, and the views that they're getting off of it is hilarious for someone to try to use that as the sticking point. What up, Patson? Yeah, it's been pretty solid.
Nicely done. Big forearm.
I don't know how old Joe is, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's up there.
Headlock. Oh, cheap shot right above the eye. Oh, right to the spine with the knee.
He's up there in age. Oh, Brave says 36. Well, yeah, you know, that's not bad. I mean, Damian Priest's like 37.
It has to feel like a beat-the-clock scenario here.
Time is certainly a factor. These competitors need to start.
They did a good job with Andre the Giant in this game.
And the score is all tied up. Who is going to break out?
Maybe he's in his 40s then. Ace? I don't know. I don't know how old he is.
Something a superstar should do after they score the first fall.
When you win the first fall, you have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. Keep that energy going.
You can look it up, bud.
I strongly disagree. After scoring the first fall, the sage thing to do is go on defense. Slow things down.
Brave says he's 36. I'll trust Brave. I'm sure he looked it up.
Oh my gosh, with one hand. Vicious right forearm. Oh my gosh, what impact. Quick thinking pays off. Big E's pushing back now. Yeah, he's getting some.
Bro, why don't you just look it up? Why? Now I gotta stop the gameplay and look it up. He's 45.
Newly determined focus. Suplex. Good golly, Miss Molly.
And Big E falls.
Thanks, Patson. Nah, I got it. He's 45.
Tally is not enough as half of the time limit is already wasted away.
And the score is deadlocked. Look at Andre the Giant. Andre drops a massive elbow. Big E's completely out of it.
Just like that, he scores a fall.
Evades their offense. Short clothesline hits its mark.
That caught Andre square. He might have only poked the bear, though.
As Big E was reminding him just how serious he can be.
Oh, deadlift. And a sit-out powerbomb.
Thunderous impact.
He had it scouted.
Like a brick wall running into you. Hip drop by Andre the Giant. Look at Andre the Giant. Andre with a big elbow. That's it. The Giant just ended things.
He sneaks one in there.
Oof. Oh, Big E avoids contact.
And that was an effective
Andre the Giant is just too big.
Will it be? Now he scores the early fall.
He gets out of the way. We're getting into deeper waters, and it looks like someone is pulling away from the pack. Maintaining their aggression will be their best strategy now. Dominating shoulder tackle. Big E firing up. Just mounted with punches.
Bro, he's 45. I just looked it up.
To finish it off.
Why are you guys still talking about Samoa Joe's age?
Slips out of the way there. What reflexes? Ooh.
That kick will stop you in your tracks.
Ooh. He thinks he has it.
He got him here.
Nah, you first said 50 something.
What's he gonna do?
And then you said 45, 50. You said 51. That's what you said originally.
He's taking a moment to feel the crowd, but he better focus on the opposition.
Time's up, and he triumphs in this Iron Man match.
Here is your winner, the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant!
Truly a hard-fought
Isn't
victory
Joe
at the
doing
end
a
of the
movie
grueling
right now?
Iron
I'm
Man
actually
match.
not
They're
sure.
gonna feel the effects of this match tomorrow.
I can't get over this. Big E goes down in defeat. Now Big E's even more dangerous than ever because he's hungry for a win.
Bro, we're talking about Samoa Joe. Nobody mentioned Joe Hendry. Yeah, I don't know if Twisted Metal Season 2 is being filmed right now.
Team matchup. Ready for the challenge. We see Tiffany Stratton and Asuka. And they'll be in for one hell of a tag team match as they square up with Roxanne Perez and Michin.
Hard to decide what team has the advantage here. It'll probably come down to who can cut the ring in half the best. Who can control
What are
the
you
pace.
talking about, Ace?
And a slap for the exclamation point.
He was trying to make fun of being
Nothing
briefly
but
on
blind
speed.
Rage.
Ooh, she just turned it around. Boom, what a kick.
He tried mocking Speed and he failed miserably. So, Ricochet replied really well to him.
Boom, lights out.
Drops the hammer right on the lower back.
She may have just slowed Roxanne down a bit there.
You could almost feel the intensity coming from Asuka on that.
Exactly, Kev. Ricochet told him since when is being a champion a bad thing? That he's had that his matches on Speed had more views than any of his matches that have ever been watched.
Flapjack. Now tagging her in. Perez on the receiving end. What a hit from Asuka. Oof, pounding the breadbasket. Down low with the drop kick.
Asuka with a vice grip on the wrist.
Oh, he got views. I mean, isn't that what it's about? To entertain and get people to enjoy what you're doing?
Working the midsection there.
Being on Rampage and not even being known, that's like the double jobber duty, right?
Roxanne is being overwhelmed.
This is where Roxanne will be
It's the main championship for a show. It's an exclusive championship for a social media platform, and there's millions and millions of dollars that are being put into that production.
As the wrist trapped.
That shit has an exclusive contract.
Punishing. Roxanne escapes the attack.
What's next? I mean, if that's what TikTok ends up paying for because they want to go into business with a promotion, sure. I mean, what's so different? What's so different about having a Speed championship for Twitter than a TBS champion for TBS and a TNT title for TNT or a television title? Is it not the same thing? Having an internet champion for the platform that people are watching that match on and it's exclusive to? Isn't that the whole concept of having a title that's ultimately supposed to represent the network they are on? I mean, to my knowledge, that's what Twitter is, right? A social media platform. TBS, isn't that a network where the show is showcased on? It's the same exact thing. That's the thing, though, that it's not McDonald's, it's not Burger King, it's not any of those things. It's Twitter, just like it's TNT, just like it's TBS. Do you mean to tell me that the TBS and the TNT titles are meaningless? Or the television title that WCW had? WWE essentially created a cruiserweight level title where because cruiserweights and lightweight performers are going to be the ones that are better suited there. Even though Otis and other guys have competed to fill out the brackets, but who have outshined and performed well, you know what I'm saying? It's been all the fast guys.
She saw that one coming. And that's another focused attack to her torso area. Boom! Such educated feet.
Exactly. People thought that Zack Ryder calling himself the internet champion was cool. That actually made him uber famous.
Oh, there it is. The Asuka lock is in.
All right, Brave.
She has it, and she lets her free. But the damage was certainly done, Michael.
The fact that you're trying to be a evil villain and try to act all funny and mock the Twitter championship is hilarious to me when the company that you love and meat ride literally has 2 titles named after the network they're on.
We've seen that look before.
I'm not missing the point. That's the thing, that you're missing the point. Is that not the case, chat? Who's missing the point?
Asuka off the ropes.
He's trying to say I'm missing the point. What point am I missing, chat? Someone help, please.
Oh my goodness. Hoping to end it here.
Nobody watched 205 Live, though. 205 Live was one of the lowest rated, miserable shows that they did, and they tried.
Here are your winners, the team of Tiffany Stratton and Asuka.
Tag team chemistry in full effect with these 2 superstars.
Gives you hope for the future of the tag division. Great tag team action on display, guys.
The Twitter concept, whether I care about it or not, whether it means something to me or not, that that's not what we're talking about. I enjoy it when I scroll down and it pops up. I'll tune in and watch a little bit of it. But for me to sit here and make fun of it and mock it when there's literally millions of dollars and millions of viewers involved, it's kind of hard for anyone in the business to mock someone for being successful in an avenue, right, where there's that much money and that many people watching, when that dude Fletcher needs a mouthpiece, needs a manager because he can't get over by himself, wrestles on Rampage, and has done a whole lot of what? Oh, but he was tag team champ. Or, oh, he's this. He did great in New Japan. Oh, he did great in the Indies. Oh, he did great overseas. He hasn't really been all that successful in AEW, has he? I haven't seen anyone wear his shirt and say, oh, yeah, I'm the biggest Fletcher fan. But I see people really excited about Ricochet. Maybe that's all you need to know, right? Maybe that's all that is important. Who says they don't belong there?
Awareness is the key for a triple threat where one mistake can cost.
You mean to tell me Ricochet and Andrade, who's been the champions in Speed, don't belong on a platform where they are placed as the main boss fight, as the main person, as the end-all be-all, as the headliner? No, no. You don't want to be a headliner on your own show, right? No, no. They literally made Ricochet would have been the longest reigning Speed champion if his contract didn't expire and he didn't leave and he didn't want to do what he's doing with the freedom he has now. A guy like Charlie Dempsey, who nobody knows, should be on Speed so people scrolling see a guy, what the guy's all about. That is actually the perfect thing to do if you want someone to keep scrolling. I don't know, Witty. Like, the thing is that Ace tries to one-up himself every single week. And some way, somehow, he does it. Ace, I'm sorry, bro, but trying to defend AEW here because of your boy Fletch, who's done absolutely nothing and a whole lot less than Ricochet has in 6 years, is hilarious. And he said that Ace, he said, oh, Ricochet was on a sabbatical from pro wrestling. Since when is WWE not pro wrestling? Since when is WWE not the biggest promotion on, for pro wrestling? The biggest platform.
She returns the favor there.
Oh, Witty, the way I see it is that he's giving us a subject to tackle and talk about. You know what I mean?
If that doesn't fire you up, I don't know what will. Asuka's day.
And it gets everybody in the chat to talk. So at the end of the day, it kind of serves its purpose. He thinks he's a martyr or something.
Big forearm.
Even on a week where I give AEW praise and I give AEW credit, he still manages to mess it up.
Running interference.
I should be praising AEW all week, but I'm here sitting here trying to defend logic.
Running drop kick in the corner.
No, you're not making no case. You're not trying to do anything.
Hammerlock applied. What's next? Oh my! Sit out, Spinebuster.
If you put a guy like Akira Tozawa, yeah, he's super popular, and I'm sure eventually they should give him the chance and give him the title to, you know, utilize him on that platform. But then people will be like, oh, this is a joke. They tried to put credible champions and credible opponents.
I think she was just looking to soften her up a little there. Boom!
Exactly, Chase. That's what NXT Level Up is for. Exactly.
Fishing for something beneath the ring.
Clearly thinking a steel chair is what's needed right about now. Watch out!
Side kick on the mark.
Exactly, Kev. Exactly.
And it looks like Asuka was the one who wasn't ready for that attack.
Yeah, it seems Asuka's just getting warmed up in terms of that endless supply of intensity Cole mentioned.
Ah, right to the back. Caught in a bad position here. Down on the windpipe. She's going for it.
You brought it up. I brought it up.
And referee cuts off the count in one.
Amazing.
I brought it up and I ended it right away. And I talked about how he replied good and you didn't even know.
And Asuka is really playing it up for the WWE Universe.
She needs to stop saying she's going to bring it and actually deliver on the promise. No telling what she'll find under the ring here.
If you're going to grab a kendo stick, you better be prepared to use it. And Charlotte there experienced just a taste of will it be? I think so.
Wow, I did the beatdown and the wrong Asuka got the one.
Here is your winner, Asuka!
Imagine. Controversy creates cash. But you're not creating anything. You're just making yourself look foolish. Oh, Raquel returning? That's good, man. She got injured and has been kind of lost in the sauce. Guys, if you haven't dropped a like, double tap the screen. Double tap. Press the like for your boy LexxExpress, man. We're 8 away from 30. We got Monday Night Raw tonight looking great. We got 2 triple threat matches for the Intercontinental title tournament. We also have Uncle Howdy making his debut against Chad Gable. Action-packed show, man. I'm looking forward to tonight since we got Bash in Berlin on Saturday. Keep in mind, we're going to be watching Monday Night Raw. We're going to be watching NXT. And we're going to be watching TNA Emergence, as well as Bash in Berlin and NXT No Mercy. Lots of wrestling, lots of streams. We're going to be playing WWE 2k24 and some of the older titles as well. Ooh, what the?
She thinks she has it. She gets a quick kick out there.
Not time to expect victory yet.
They probably got a big payday from what offensive, bro? Is that's the thing, that you're trying to be smart, not offensive. You're right. You're trying to be smart and you're not being smart. You're making yourself look foolish. Some debuts? I don't know. You think so?
You gotta be kidding me. Everyone here is in shock.
I don't know why everybody like gets super crazy about debuts and returns and like I don't read into none of those things. I just watch the show and if something happens, something happens. Starks isn't showing up at No Mercy, and he doesn't have to show up at No Mercy. Who cares? That's only to satisfy the fickle fans like Ace.
Charlotte measuring her opponent and drops the knee.
Asuka with those unorthodox mannerisms of hers. I don't know whether to make heads or tails of it.
You know, relying on that kind of programming to carry your show, it's kind of sad, bro.
There's a kick to the midsection. Here we go. Boom.
And Charlotte there experienced just a taste of what's made Asuka a dominating force.
She did her homework there. Oh, low tackle. She scores big with the cap.
Yeah, I like the matches and the story. Whatever else happens is a story.
Not sure why, but she
I mean, it's a surprise.
Well, I think she sensed her opponent was about to break free.
Compromised position here.
It starts though, literally and arguably their biggest sign. Oh my god. Bro, she got this match is so whack. I do all the work and then the computer gets the pin. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do it, Chase.
The WWE Universe showing appreciation as all three competitors after an amazing triple threat match.
She came into this match on a mission.
He's a piece of work. Piece of work, I tell you. Doink the Clown is back tonight. He is, Kev. Look at him in the chat.
WWE's best in what should be a hectic triple threat match. Set for action in this one, and we're getting underway with Asuka, Charlotte, and Asuka.
The significance of this match being no countouts or disqualifications can't be understated. Not only do you have to worry about a second opponent, but you got to worry about your adversaries fighting dirty and it being perfectly legal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's here. He says, I'm looking at him. Yeah, he's looking in the mirror. Look, he discovered himself.
Watch her set up in the corner. Oh, what a drop kick.
On the mark.
As easy as it may seem to come into a no DQ match with no plan other than to get violent, strategy can
100
play a
days
role
as
in this.
champ.
Now's
Nice.
the time for a superstar to get inventive, to get creative when it comes to inflicting damage on their opponents.
Asuka retaliates. And Charlotte's ego brought back down to earth there.
Yeah, Asuka looked confident going on the attack.
Oh, what a kick. Vicious. Boom. Strikes with a kick. And that was an efficient form of offense with that move.
Able to parry that one.
That unraveled on Asuka.
Charlotte just rubbing it in now.
She'll take things into the ring.
Fires back with a crucial elbow.
Flair delivering the chop. Followed by natural selection.
Bow to the crown, it's over.
She's got an answer for that. Oh, saw it coming.
Bro, movie was pretty solid, man. I liked it, you know. I see some people that have seen the original not really like it, and some people said that it was, you know, like an empty movie, but again, I guess I'm just easily entertained because I had never seen the original, so I wasn't really clouded by that, and I watched it and I thought it was solid. I liked it. Maybe I'll watch it at some point. You know, once I found out that this dude had gotten killed on set or whatever, and you know, I got older. Like for a movie like that, I had to go back and watch it because I never watched it in its time. I just never watched it, never prioritized it.
Absolutely no telling what's underneath the ring tonight.
I love Blink Twice. That movie was amazing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Sins, man, Sins. Don't talk to me about movies, bro. When it comes to movies, wrestling, I'll give you some credit, but a little bit, not much. But for movies, definitely, that's like, it's not your forte, that's for sure. I wouldn't really take you as a credible source for movies.
She feels that enough damage has been done.
Should have kept on wrenching. Why show mercy now?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
She's looking for something under the ring to even her odds here.
And it looks like she has swift justice in mind. Going for the
Now, if I want to play NBA My Team, I know that right there you'll give me the inside scoop.
in a dicey situation.
And you can tell there are cruel intentions in mind right now.
This is just getting uncomfortable at this point. Shoulders down. Could she finally put this away?
Nah, long legs was definitely not a 9 for me. That's a little overrated.
Triple threat match.
Here is your winner,
It's on Paramount Plus and Amazon. Nice. You know, I like that. For example, like a lot of people that watched The Crow, they said that they didn't like how this one focused a lot on like the love and like the drugs that they did early on, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the chemistry between him and the girl, and I didn't have a problem with it. I remember seeing when The Crow was announced and shown, people were saying how the remake is spitting on the legacy of Brandon Lee and the original Crow. Like, calm down, buddy. Exactly. I saw people also tweet or comment and say that Brandon Lee is rolling in his grave. Like, it's not that serious, bro. Like, he got killed on set and all that. I get it, but I went to see The Crow, dog. I watch every movie. I'm not a hype beast like you, man. I don't watch the hype stuff. I watch everything. Thought Longlegs was maybe like a 7.5. I'm looking it up here to see what I scored it. I got the movie pass, bro, so I watch every movie I possibly can when I can. You watch what looks good or funny, but you still go and fall asleep in it. And go have to watch it again and fall asleep again and watch it halfway through. Come on. What's the point of doing that? I thought the trailer looked good. Win the match or fatal four. Oh, this is a fatal four. Here we go. Oh yeah, the original Crow. Oh, that's another thing. Oh, don't even face. They're selling a triple pack digitally on iTunes. I saw for the other ones that were straight to DVD. They want to say that this retelling of the Crow with a credible actor, credible villain, credible actor playing as the villain as well. Similar story with focuses on different elements of the Crow and trying to be, unique in its own right, but tell the overall same story. They want to say that that's spitting on Brandon Lee's legacy and rolling in the grave. But the original spawned some straight to DVD forgetful garbage that people didn't watch or care. So they don't acknowledge that, right? That didn't ruin the legacy of the Crow. But this does. Again, it's social media doing what social media does best. Create a trend or a trendy narrative overall and run with it with the algorithm, and then a lot of people just recycling and repeating each other and copying what this person said and putting it over here and adding to it, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, the new movie does not spit on no grave. The new movie does not ultimately reinvent the wheel either. But it's a solid movie. And it's far from being the worst movie ever. It's far from being the worst remake ever. And you can say what you want and feel what you want about it after watching it. But a lot of people... It is so funny that a movie that didn't make much money at the box office has everyone talking about it like if they went and watched it. I just find that hilarious. How the hell did all these, thousands and millions of or whatever trends and tweets and videos and comments and this and that and all different platforms, like, how did all these people collectively have an opinion on something they didn't watch? I don't even think those are the worst remakes either. If they didn't use the name Eric Draven in the new movie, I would be okay with it. Well, they use Eric. Yeah, his name is Eric in the movie. I don't know if it was a show first. I haven't looked into the fact if it was a show or not. After you see the original, I want to see your review comparing the two. I'll check it out. At some point, I'll check it out. I just have to be in the mood to want to watch that type of storyline again, because one thing that I did light research. So in the original movie, they didn't focus on their love story. They had flashbacks and they utilized um like him being the crow a lot more in terms of like, different like this crow was more emo, more they focused more on the some love sequences between them and like getting to the point where they felt like soulmates, and the old one didn't really do that. Well, the crow didn't come from a show. It's a graphic novel. The show the crow has its own written story. You can't even say John Wick because the new one is a revenge story by John Wick and has action exactly like John Wick, and people are talking about like John Wick has so much meaningless action and a lot of people getting shredded and blood being ripped. The new one does that, and the guy is relentless. Yeah, it's a graphic novel from or graphic something, a graphic comic or a graphic novel of some sort, but it comes from something written, yeah. Some say that the Alien remake was a disservice to the original. Nah, now you're just full of shit because the Alien remake, the Alien that came out is not even a remake. They haven't even done an Alien remake. They have all been in movies in their own timeline. Well, no, all the John Wick movies are meaningless action, bro. The only thing about the first one was him fighting for them killing his dog and shit. That was just like the anchor, but that's not even what the movie's about. Essentially, the story is more about him being a former hitman and getting back into that life and all that bullshit. It's basically a modern day Alien. Well, the new one isn't a modern day Alien. So the new movie that just came out called Alien Romulus is an Alien film between part 1 and part 3. Part 2. It's a prequel to part 2 and it comes after part 1. That's Alien Romulus. That's the timeline. The actual timeline for the new Alien movie is literally that. I wouldn't call the new Alien movie of the year, but it's definitely a really good movie. I don't remember what I gave. I think I gave it like an 8.5 or a 9. It sure got me riled up. Yeah, I gave it a 9. The new Alien movie is really, really good. Romulus is a fan fiction. I wouldn't call it fan fiction because the guy is a fan, and yeah, he did pay homage to the originals, but it's not fan fiction. It's an actual canon story in the Alien universe. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Strange Darling this week. I know that movie's not gonna last long in theaters, so I gotta watch it as fast as I can. Yeah, a lot of people are calling it the best Alien since the original because of the fact that if you watch the original Alien, it's a campy, very small anxiety thriller with a concentrated story on just like this group of people. Bro, it's a horror movie. Like basically it's like a slasher. I saw Blink Twice. That shit, one of the biggest surprises of the year for me. Blink Twice is one of the biggest surprises for sure. A gem. What a great movie. Um, I love Prometheus. I saw Alien Covenant and I thoroughly enjoyed that one too. People bashed Alien Covenant because it was trying to be the old Alien, but on a bigger scale, kind of like Prometheus. And I love Prometheus. Prometheus is like the original, the origin of everything, and I love that. It's funny. It I wouldn't say that it flopped because it's like, it's a smaller movie. It's like a low budget movie. Have you ever been to an early screening of a movie? Yeah. So like movies come out on Friday and I go Thursdays. That's like the premiere day. That's usually how I see like some of the bigger movies that I'm really excited for. So I'll go like on a Thursday. But if you're asking me like an early screening, like a week in advance or whatever, yeah, I saw the Vin Diesel movie called Triple X when it first came out in like the early 2000s. And I've also seen like I think it was last year or something. I saw an early screening of another movie. Like which one was it? I think it's called Joyride. Even though I've enjoyed every Alien movie, my favorites are admittedly Alien versus Predator movies, and that's funny. Those are like considered like like junk, like they're like guilty pleasures. Bad fun movies is like what it's really categorized as. The only Aliens movies that are really like held on a gold platter is Alien 1 and 2. Alien and Aliens. Alien and the Crow is not for everyone. Wow, Byron saying some solid random stuff for once. What are the requirements on watching early screening like a week early? In today's day and age, you gotta have you gotta have some sort of media pass, just like what people do with games, pretty much. Or you gotta be some sort of recognizable figure in the circles of that. But like the screenings that I went to, or like the one that I went to last year, it was so I have the movie pass right now, the Regal Unlimited, and it basically means I can watch any movie whenever. And sometimes they have special early screenings, and if I reserve the ticket in time, I'm able to go watch it. They've done some this year, but I haven't attended any of them. It's usually done like where you get to reserve it to go for smaller movies that they're trying to create traction. Yeah, I know. Sins, he's like obsessed. He says that all the time. Need another like Freddy versus Jason? That's another guilty pleasure. What up, Straight Edge? All right, so let me see what Blink Twice has. Let's look up because what I like about Rotten Tomatoes is that audience get to like if you have an account on Rotten Tomato, you could score it. So Alien Romulus is at an 80 and it's rated fresh. And the audience score, that's critics, and the audience score is an 86. So Blink Twice, let me see where Blink Twice is at. Blink Twice is at a 76 rated fresh, and the audience score is 67. Blink, if you like Jordan Peele did Get Out, Us. What was the other one that he did? I always forget the name of the other one, the one with the alien. I have, and I own them too. I own all of his movies. Hold on, let me look up the name because now I'm gonna have that brain for it. Jordan Peele did Nope. Yeah, Nope, Us, and Get Out. If you guys like any of those movies, that's how yeah, The Monkey. If you guys like any of those movies, you're gonna like Blink Twice. Blink Twice is a lot like that. I think that the reason why a lot of people didn't like Blink Twice is because the movie it dives deep into the theme that it's trying to be. Rotten Tomatoes is like the IGN for movies. Kind of. It's more like Metacritic. IGN is one source. So IGN is literally their own brand, their own thing. They're not really that credible under my eyes. I don't really use them on any scale for anything. But if you want to see like an overall perception, you would want to go to like a Rotten Tomato for movies or Metacritic for games. Sorry. Because what that website does is it tallies the score and the overall opinion from all the critics from like credible sites, like whether it's New York Times, Washington Post, or just several different places. And then for audience, if you have and then the audience works kind of like IMDb. You know how IMDb is called the Internet Movie Database? And you could sign up. Like you could review movies on IMDb. I can review movies on IMDb. That's kind of the same thing for the audience score on Rotten Tomato. So whenever I watch a movie, I feel a certain way. I'm gonna go to Rotten Tomato to see if I find any relatable comments. That's really what I do. Because if you go to Twitter, or like you go to like a YouTube video that maybe you find a YouTuber or you just run into like a clip or a video of someone that kind of agrees with what you're saying, you're gonna see you're not gonna see a lot of variety in the comments as much as you would in like a Metacritic or like a Rotten Tomato thing, I feel. Because when people agree, they kind of just beat it into the ground, whether it's that they loved it, hated it, or whatever, they just beat it into the ground. And yes, there's some, if you filter through it, but I don't really spend that much time filtering through it. Like, it would take you hours to filter through the comments on Twitter or YouTube or whatever. But it's just a lot easier. It's a database where the information is kind of gathered for you, and you kind of make your own, your own formula for it. So I kind of have like an idea. I don't give a crap about anyone else's review or opinion. Like, I'll take it into consideration if I'm having a conversation with you, Chase, Sins, or Ace, or Kev, Straight Edge. Like, whoever's in here and we're chatting up about a movie or a game or whatever, I'll take into consideration and I'll be like, oh, yeah, this person said that it's good. Let me look at it, or let me check out the trailer or whatever. I'll take it into consideration a little bit more. But when it comes to like reading general opinions, or like, um, oh yeah, like this website gave it an 80%, like Rotten Tomato gave it a 90%. I go watch the movie thinking that it's a 90%, and I end up hating it. Or I didn't end up enjoying it as much. So like, I don't always agree with them. I don't ever really care about the 90 or the 10% or whatever percentage they give it. It's just more of like a conversation piece. It's just more of a relatability thing. Finding similar narratives. I watched like 5 sources for movie reviews, really. Angry Joe, Chris Duckman, Jeremy Johns, and Tyrone Magnus. I've seen Tyrone Magnus. He's known more for like reviews, reactions and stuff like that. He's come out of my timeline sometimes. Um, Angry Joe, I would say that Angry Joe, I respect his work. I respect his commitment. I respect his opinion in terms of like, he's a good workhorse, but I can't say that like I tend to agree with him oftentimes. Like, sometimes, yeah, sure, you could agree with anyone, but it doesn't mean I won't watch. If there's a movie that I really, really like and really, really want to hear someone rant or give their, 2 cents on it, then I'll click on it. But oftentimes I don't, because I don't like, there's nothing I really care that much about. Like, I'll see maybe like, I'll skip through it a little bit just to see what he said about, some Deadpool and Wolverine stuff, or, something that's being trashed on. But Chris Duckman is pretty solid. I would say that he's one of the more serious reviewers, and Jeremy Johns. I think Chris Duckman and Jeremy Johns are like two. And I used to watch Schmoes Know, which now is Christian Harloff, who used to be there, does his own stuff. Um, I very few times go check him out just to see like his out of theater reaction. But I don't really I don't really watch reviews like that on like sitting down seeing like a 10-minute review video. I agree with what Sin said. How about your own reviews? That to me is really more valuable than anything. Watching something for yourself, reviewing it for yourself, and not worrying about what anyone else is saying or thinking. It's something that we have to kind of empower more and talk about more, because in this day and age, it's lost its touch. Packers trading for QB. Oh, I don't even know who that guy was. Wait, trading for, yeah, I didn't know who that was. Wait, Packers trading for Titans QB. Sorry, I just read it wrong, but now I see what you mean. I didn't even know. I think them to see if the movie is worth it. If at least 3 of them say it's good, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I think that that's very misleading, and you're selling yourself short of something that you might personally enjoy. That's how you do it, straight edge. I'm hearing that the Y6 next target is the Terror Twins. I don't know about that. I don't think that's accurate. I'd see a consensus vote than a single person's opinion. That's usually what Rotten Tomatoes does really good. When you look at you click on, like, let's say you click on the tomato meter, That's the critics' consensus. Like they have like a section there, and then when you click on the audience score, they have the audience consensus there. When you stick to watching, like what you said, Ace, 2 out of 3, like remember, guys, what is a review? A critic? What is a reviewer? We're all critics. We're all reviewers. We all have our own opinion. We all have our own taste buds. We all have our own desires and our own expectations. So when you put your entertainment in the hands of a reviewer, or let's just say another person that does those videos, um, you're kind of you can't really do that. I eventually still watch them, just not gonna spend money on something I'm not sure about. Plus, everyone I watch have similar taste to me. If you feel like you really connect with them and um and it's relatable to you, then by all means go for it. But when you guys ask me about a movie, you ask me about a show or a wrestling match or a pay-per-view, like Sins earlier came in here, he's like, oh, not another 10. Like that's like his little running joke because he wants to act like he's a super hard-ass critic. um Dude, when I watch a movie, I pay attention to the musical number. I pay attention to the sequences and how they carry into one another. I pay attention into the dialogue, how it plays into the overall arc of the story. Pay attention into the beginning, middle, and end. I pay attention to some of the things that I really value in the movie going experience. A lot of people that share their opinion, or they just say, oh yeah, I watched this movie or whatever, and like you tell them, oh, do you remember the song that played during this? They don't even know about that. They don't even pay attention to that. They don't even know the actor's name that was in the background. They don't even know who wrote it or who directed it, or why this was the way it was, or where they drew inspiration from, or that's all things that I really thoroughly enjoy. So it's not just that I sat and I was entertained like brain dead. When I give you my score, I'm going to give you how I feel about it, but I'm going to also tell you from a like I take myself out of the equation and I'll say, would I really recommend for you to go watch this movie? Would I recommend for you to spend money? I'll even put $1 on it in terms of how much I would be willing to spend to add that to my shelf, to my collection. So I'm going to give you so many different variations of my opinion, and I'm not just going to deep dive into the fact that I gave it a 10 and you need to go watch it. If I'm recommending something to you, is because I wholeheartedly believe that there's something of value to everyone, even if there's a reason for you to give it a less rating than I did. If I recommend a 10 out of 10 for you, I mean for me, and I recommend go watch this wrestling match, go watch this pay-per-view, go watch this movie, go play this game, it's because I think that at the very least, even if you give it not a 6, but like a 7 or whatever, I think you are going to still draw something from it that you're going to walk away, enjoying yourself with. So you asked me about The Crow. We've talked so much about movies, because we're going to be here for a while. I'm going to watch Raw. I'm still playing WWE 2K. I didn't want to deep dive into this conversation because then I get carried away with the movie stuff, and I know that people tune in for the wrestling all the time. So, but it's good to take a break every now and then to kind of refresh in our palette in terms of like visuals and conversation wise. So when we get back into wrestling, we enjoy it as well and we don't get bored. But you asked me, Lex, how do you feel about The Crow? 7.5, maybe an 8. Would I tell you to go spend money at the movie theater? No. Would I tell you to go buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray for 20, 25, 30 bucks? No. Is it a movie you need to go see right away? No. Is it a movie that you might end up enjoying? Yeah, I think that there is something that you can definitely enjoy yourself with ultimately, when you watch that movie, I think even if you give it a 6 or a 7, you'll think it's an okay movie, and it's, you move along. It's not one of those movies that you're going to sit and dwell about and contemplate life and think that it's the ultimate end all be all. Yeah, I have started to, like, the way that I rate movies or games or wrestling shows. I have reworked my scale for how I want to express my feelings about it. So if I give something a 10, right? It's because it hit with the vibe. Like, I got goosebumps at a certain point in time. The synchronization of just the production, the acting, the performance, whatever, like, so many different things did so good for me to say, damn, bro, I had a 10 out of 10 experience. But I can sit here with a straight face and be critical of it and be like, look, as a fan, as a viewer, as just I enjoyed it, it's a 10. As a harsh critic, I would probably go as low as 8 or something like that. In reality, maybe I'll give it 8.5. Maybe to you it's a 7. I'll tell you something along those lines, because I know that if I tell you is a 10 and you take it as a literal 10, you're going to go into that movie, show, or game and say, oh my God, LexxExpress gave this shit a 10 seal of approval. This is movie of the year. This is show of the year. This is game of the year. 10 out of 10 from Lexx. I mean, only this gets a 10 out of 10 from me. But if Lexx said is a 10, this is going to be, boom, amazing. What happens then? You go watch it. You're waiting to get that feeling that you get when you watch a 10 out of 10. And you end up feeling like it wasn't a 10 out of 10. Yo, this match was trash. Yo, this character was garbage. Yo, this mission in the game was annoying. I hated it. Lexx, you are a fool. Why would you give that a 10? See, that's where the problem lies. What kind of 10 am I giving it? Why did I care to give it a 10? We didn't get... So I could never just tell you, oh, it's good. All right, go for it. It can alter your opinion. I agree. I have ultimately, through the years of wanting to do this content creation stuff, and through the years of being on social media and kind of being a student of the game and learning, how to voice my opinion and share my passion with you guys, I have realized that one of the biggest disservice I could do to you, the viewer, or anyone in a conversation for fun, is act as if what I'm saying is wholeheartedly the reality and factual. And we have to realize that we can all be critics. We can all be right and wrong. We can all share the same opinion or a different opinion. And we don't have to force feed any of that into each other's mind. You're going to feel how you feel. I'm going to feel how I feel. And let's just break bread over it and enjoy ourselves in talking ultimately about the same thing we all want to watch and enjoy. You get what I'm saying? I'm not here to call you an idiot. I'm not here to say that you don't know what you're talking about. I mess around and I troll, and because you guys troll with me, I'm going to troll back with you. You can't take the heat. Get out the kitchen. That's the way it goes. It's not that I'm taking what you're saying serious. It's not that I'm getting offended. It's not that I know it all. Bro, I know a lot of nothing. When you ultimately go to any credible source and you walk away feeling like you agreed with them, that is a good feeling. It's cool because you feel like your opinion is like shared with someone you value. Cool. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't agree with them, there's no reason for you to fight with them over. I've literally gone into like someone's review and I've seen someone disagree with them so hard that they've gone on to say, "Oh, I'm unsubscribing. This is garbage. You're an idiot. Screw you. I don't agree with your opinions anymore." So now because I enjoyed something and I wanted to talk about something I enjoyed, you're going to say that I'm an idiot? Or that I don't know what I'm talking about all of a sudden? So that's really the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway here in this conversation I want you guys to have, especially when we talk about future reviews and we talk about future movies, good, bad, great, whatever. You know, I'm not trying to alter your opinion. I'm not trying to convince you to go spend your money. How many movies have I really gone out on a limb that I've talked about here on this channel? Or how many wrestling shows have I got out on a limb, or video games, to say, go play it, go watch it, go experience it? Not many. I'm one of those people that if I didn't have the movie pass, if the movie pass didn't exist, I would probably go to the movies 3 times a year. That's it. Lex, but you can't watch all the greatest movies at... Yeah, I like buying movies at a discounted price. I'll get it on sale later. If I don't really want to own it or I'm really iffy about it, I'm not going to read someone's opinion on it. I'm going to go wait for it to go on a streaming service or something like that. Do I read? Do I listen? Do I, pay attention to some of those things? Sometimes, yeah. It just depends. It just depends. It's a case-by-case scenario. Definitely case-by-case scenario. Now, one thing that I can say for a fact that I have noticed is that wrestling fans are very, very toxic. I don't think that's no secret. Wrestling fans are very, very toxic. There's a lot of toxic wrestling fans. There's a lot of Marvel comic book fans that are toxic. Fickle as well. There's a lot of DC Universe fans, DC comic fans, comic book fans in general. So it's comic book fans, wrestling fans, Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans, anime fans of like certain anime series. People that consider themselves aficionados of like a brand or like a universe of whatever story they love. They are so obsessed. Any fandom has toxic fans. Yeah, no. But we're not just talking about any fans. See, that's why I draw the line. That's why I didn't just go and because that's like, you're not saying anything. You're not really saying anything at the end of the day. You're not sharing. That's just a generic statement. So the fans, the fan, like wrestling fans as a whole, there's just, since wrestling, it's like one of one. The community within wrestling is so huge. The community within the Star Wars universe is so huge. Star Trek, like that's why I labeled those comic books and those brands that I mentioned are very specific, because there's just an overwhelming amount of people within each of those avenues. And if you look at certain entities overall, like comedy films, those fans are not toxic. Suspenseful thriller fans, they're not toxic. Of like movies in general, like you can't just bunch up everyone. Ended up finishing All In. It really is one of the better pay-per-views, PLEs of the year. Danielson versus 12 felt like a movie, but I honestly loved May versus Storm the most. Exactly. That is 100% accurate. MGM. Fair point. It just feels like a lot of people like to write off others that are in disagreement with them or whatever. Hold on, guys. We're gonna take literally a 2-minute bathroom break. Literally, like, just hold on. I know you guys want to keep scrolling. I know you guys want to keep going. I'm gonna have my phone in my hand, reading the chat, so I don't miss a beat. Just give me literally like 2 minutes. I gotta pee, and I'm gonna put some water on my face because it's a little greasy. It's a little greasy. So give me literally 1 second while you enjoy this background music. Bathroom break is over. We're here. What's going on? This solo riff is sick. What up, Lawrence? Release Holland? What do you mean release Holland? Guys, I gotta go real quick, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be right back. And we'll be back for Monday Night Raw later at 8 o'clock. I was gonna stream through Monday Night Raw, but I'm gonna get off for a little bit real quick. So I hope to see you guys there. I didn't mean to I guess I egged you on for doing the rest of the stream, all in one. But yeah. I'm just gonna get off to have dinner because I made a change of plans. So no worries. 2 hours in the books. I love the conversations. We'll keep it going. We'll talk wrestling. I got the stream scheduled for later, 8 p.m. See y'all there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And keep in mind that we got so much wrestling happening later this week, all right? So see you on the next one. Let's go. Peace.